Alabama residents are going to see a $100 increase in their utility bill directly because of Donald Trump's policies. But the best part, the utility company is sending them letters letting them know it's Donald Trump's fault. Now, this is in Huntsville, Alabama, and Huntsville Utilities sent a letter to some of its customers letting them know this. You can pause if you need to, but they are going to receive a $100 increase because the grant that reduced their bill by $100 is being rescinded by Donald Trump. Yeah, they're letting them know this is Donald Trump's fault. We're not taking the hit for this. Now, Donald Trump promised people that he would cut utility bills in half in the first 12 months. And instead, these people in Huntsville, Alabama, a deep red state, are going to see it increase by $100. The worst part, these are the poorest among us. These are people that desperately need this, so they don't have to make a decision between lights or food. And Donald Trump is taking that away. The man who campaigned on lowering costs are making them go up. And now people know, beyond a shadow of doubt, it's his fault.
Is anybody surprised? And I know what he said, right? These are some of the poorest people in the country, and they desperately need this subsidy. Don't care. This is what they voted for. Tom, there are Democrats in those areas. I understand there are Democrats in those areas. But as a whole, the state voted for Donald Trump overwhelmingly. As a whole, the state votes Republican overwhelmingly. This is what that state voted for. So if anybody in Huntsville, Alabama, isn't able to keep their lights on because they can't afford their electric bill, with all due respect, too bad. Too bad. If you have to choose between food and electricity because the guy you voted for took away your $100 subsidy, sucks to be you. Maybe the next time you won't vote for people that constantly stick it up your ass every time you elect them, like the Republicans do. You know, one of the things that I hear from people a lot is, Chicago's so corrupt. Why do you guys keep electing Democrats? Now, I don't keep electing Democrats in the city of Chicago because I don't live in the city of Chicago. I live in the suburbs. I do vote Democratic on a county level, a local level, and a state level, and obviously on a federal level. But that's the one thing I get a lot of, right? Chicago is so corrupt. Why do you keep electing Democrats? Because even those corrupt Democrats get the job done. Having said that, my retort would be, why do people in these areas keep voting Republican? These areas have been dirt fucking poor for decades. In some cases, generations. Dirt fucking poor. And they keep voting Republican over and over. They keep voting for people that cut taxes on the upper class, cut taxes on millionaires, and don't do shit for them. Why? Because they all believe they're the next billionaire in waiting. Because they believe that they live in the United States of America, the fact that they live in the United States of America means that they have a chance to be the next billionaire. And they do. Everybody has a chance to be the next billionaire. But you want to know something? 99.9% of us are never going to get to that level. Ever. We're never going to have $1 billion in the bank. But for some reason, Republicans have been able to convince you folks, the Republican voters, especially in the poor rural areas, that you are just the next billionaire in waiting. And if you allow the Democrats to tax billionaires now, then when you become a billionaire, they're going to tax that much from you. Never explaining to these folks that if the billionaires had to pay the taxes that Democrats want, they would still be billionaires. But that's what the Republican Party has done for years. The Republican Party has essentially been a group of rich white people that convince middle-class white people that poor white people and poor brown people and poor black people are the reason why the middle class white people can't make it to the club of upper class white people. And that couldn't be the furthest thing from the truth. It isn't poor people that are keeping middle class people in the middle class. It's rich people. But the Republicans have convinced poor rural white American voters that they need to keep voting for the upper class in order to protect the lower class. And then Trump saw that and went, well, wait a minute. I've been selling these fucking people on bullshit my whole life. I have sold them on board games and ice and a university and steaks and vodkas and anything, my suits and my ties, anything that I could slap the name Trump on. That if they wanted to be just like me, just get these fake cufflinks. Just get this shitty tie. Just play this bullshit game. Just go to this bullshit university and you could be just like me. But what they never realize is that it's a fucking facade. It's all a facade. And they're never even going to get to the facade point in life, let alone actual wealth. And he turned that into a political cult. And now we have MAGA.